Hey everybody, this is Sheets, and I'm going to be going over the Truck Series race for this Sunday. And after you get through watching the Wreck Fest at Daytona for both the Infinity race and the Cup race and perhaps the Infinity race, you're going to be kind of pleasantly bored, hopefully, with the Truck Series race. It's not going to be the same type of thing, and it's going to be essentially the best cars and best drivers kind of near the front. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult to create a winning lineup uniquely, that being where you can win it by yourself. But we're going to attempt to do it anyway. And there are two ways to do it, in my opinion. One is by, similar to the other races we analyzed, one is by pivoting within, ranges, and the other is completely going with a different build. And I'm going to give you examples of how you could do both. Now, first of all, pretty freaking efficient what they did. And I say efficient, saying the best drivers are starting in the front, right? Zane Smith, Rhodes, Austin Hill, Moffitt, Crafton, like all these guys stink, Anquim and Dillon, whatever. But so you have the top guys kind of staying near the front, and dominator points are going to be, you're going to want them. So it's probably a good idea to get two of these dudes in. I put in Zane Smith and Ben Rhodes here, but you could say Sauter, Austin Hill, Eckes, he always has some speed, Moffitt, Crafton. So any of these guys, and I do think that it's going to be difficult to win unless you have at least one. I mean, I would say at least two of these guys in there, right? So what you do is you attempt to either just shuffle these guys or take a look at ownership and just honestly just kind of take the lowest owned one, because they're all good. You know what I mean? Like between Sauter, X, Moffitt, they've really done a great job of making it difficult to separate these guys price-wise, position-wise. I personally have an affinity towards Derek Kraus from the 10. Again, just as my very limited NASCAR and Truck Series experience. I mean, he's always been great for me. So I'm probably going to play him more than most people. And Jay Sauter, Justin Sauter, he's probably going to be the most popular, being the guy that of that top range that has the most place differential. So there's him. Creed is fine. He's got place differential upside, and he's a fast car, and he's it's pretty expensive. It's going to be tough to pass all those dudes, though. It's just going to. So yeah, maybe he's got top 5 upside, but it's going to be tough for him to get there, I think. But that's just me. So that's one thing you can do, is just take these, the lowest owned of those guys. Now, the other thing that's going to happen, okay, and that's not this build. Right? I'm going to get back to this build in a minute. What's going to happen if you play these top guys, let's say Zane Smith and, I don't know, Sauter, is then you're going to kind of get tempted into playing a third. So let's say you want to play, where was he? Chandler Smith, like, for example. You're going to be tempted to want to play a third and dip into this bottom range here, to try to get some to make all this work. And you see these women down here, like Jennifer Jo Cobb, for example. She's like, they're really, really cheap. So you're going to be tempted to do something like this and play Fogelman, Self, Royce. I mean, he's always chalk. He's fine. And then this allows you to then get up to one of these guys in this range up here. So I do think that what's going to happen is that all these people down here might be chalky, between Decker, Royce, Cobb. That's my opinion. So what you can do again is one of two things. Number one is, as I said before, pivot within those ranges to lesser owned guys. So you could go to Dawson Cram, for example, or Spencer Boyd. Like these guys are also kind of okay, right? Danny Bond, even like all these guys are fine. And what that does is allows you to keep this same, you know, top guys build. For example, I was throwing Moffitt. Just, I mean, any of these guys really. These top guys build, and then just play these types of kind of, you know, value plays and not take the chalkier ones. So that's one thing that you can do is something like this. And, you know, just for the hell of it, we'll save this lineup just to show you. And we're not necessarily going to do this, but actually we're going to do something like this. So let's save this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 10 lineups today. Is it 9 or 10? Yeah. So the other thing though, oh no, I didn't do that. So hold on, I got to change this. We'll change it in a minute. The other thing you could do is what I did here. So what I did here was I went for a totally different build. So instead of paying all the way up for these guys like Sauter or maybe Creed or whatever, and then down for these cheap value plays, what I did is just kind of throw out all those value plays. And I went up and just like kind of basketball wise, like I did in this other video I just did for the other NASCAR race, just do kind of a middling build. And that's what works in basketball sometimes, in baseball, whatever. When you think that the stars and scrubs approach is going to be too chalky, you could do something like this and play more of a middling build. And then you can get to these other guys who are maybe not quite as good point per dollar, like Hocevar, Sam Mayer, Lessard, guys like that. But to give yourself a little bit of a different build, yeah, you're sacrificing a little bit with respect to projected medians. But again, you know, the world is not made of medians. There are different ranges of outcomes. And I think something like this is another way you can approach today's slate. Get yourself a little bit different and yet still have a chance to win. Now, again, this slate is not as good of a GPP slate as the 2 Daytona races. The 2 Daytona races, I honestly believe that you can get unique lineups easily that have chances to win. Here it's going to be a little more difficult because I think that those, you know, I don't know, those top guys are just really tough to fade. And it just makes it so easy by playing those real cheap ones. But if you can get away with this, right, you get a little lucky, you know, you get this whole build is going to be very, very unpopular. So just kind of shuffle these dudes, like for example, right? So again, we're not teaching, you know, not going to give you lineups or anything like that. Although I feel like playing is fine, it's probably not winning. I'm probably not playing it, but I just want to give you another approach to these kind of 6-slot games like MMA, NASCAR, LOL, whatever, that you can be a little bit different and yet still have a chance to win. So let me just go over some plays, I suppose. So Derek Krause, again, is probably my favorite play. I just like playing this guy. Shane Smith, I guess, is fine. But I'm telling you, all these guys in here are just the same for me. Enfinger is all right, I suppose. And it's really it. Dawson Cram, as I mentioned before, boy, if I can get away with that. Who's going to play Dawson Cram in the 25 when they can go down? Well, it's not like these guys are locks or anything like that, down in the 30s. Anyway, Tyler Hill, he's going to be probably pretty popular. So he's a guy you could fade. You know what I mean? So Tyler Hill is going to be pretty popular in that value build. We'll go back to that value build in a minute. I don't think I used him, but where are these guys? So this one probably most people are going to do. They're going to go, I don't want to say most people, but maybe something like this. Yeah, so they play Tyler Hill. You want to know the chalk build? Here's the chalk build. I'll show you what it's going to be. Pick one. Royce. Pick Roger Royce. Chalk value, chalk value, chalk value. And then 3 really, really good plays. So you guys want to know what the chalk's going to be? This is what the chalk's going to be. And I'm definitely not going to play this. But I'll save it for now. All right. Well, again, another long weekend of stuff between. You see, already what I got piled on here. I got Infinity. I got MMA. I got cup racing. All kinds of crap. Not to mention baseball and basketball are going to be back for the weekend. So I'll be coming back with an MMA one probably a little later tonight, or in the morning, depending on when you're watching this. And that'll do it.